3, questions 21 to 35. In this part, you will hear 3 talks, lectures, or conversations. The talks, lectures, or conversations will not be repeated. There are 5 questions for each talk, lecture, or conversation. For each question, choose the right answer, A, B, C, or D. Now, we are ready to start. Listen carefully.
Questions 21 to 25 refer to the following conversation.
Good morning, class. Today's session focuses on fertility rate and how it impacts population growth. To clarify, the fertility rate is not the number of births per year per 1,000 people. That's called the birth rate. Instead, fertility rate is the average number of children a woman would have in her lifetime, assuming she lives through her childbearing years. Interestingly, despite the perception that fewer women are having children today due to career ambitions, fertility rates in Britain remain relatively high. For instance, in 2008, the fertility rate was 1.96, and it slightly declined to 1.94 in 2009 figures, not seen since the 1970s. Currently, Northern Ireland has the highest rate in the UK at 2.04, while Scotland has the lowest at 1.77. One reason for this trend is that many women who postponed childbirth in the 1990s are now starting families in their 30s and 40s. However, the number of women reaching their mid-40s without having children has also increased significantly. In Europe, fertility rates are far below the replacement level of 2.1. For example, France offers financial incentives to encourage childbirth, such as cash rewards or even medals for large families. Meanwhile, in China, though restrictions have been eased, cultural and economic concerns still discourage larger families. Many parents today believe that raising a child is both costly and time-consuming, and they prefer to invest more in fewer children.
Questions 26 to 30 refer to the following conversation.
My name is Dan Heyman, and today I'd like to tell you about Pedal Power, a small UK-based charity that sends bicycles to developing countries. I'll also share some contact details later for those interested in helping us. But first, I'll explain how this initiative began. The idea came to me during a trip to Ecuador in 1993. After finishing university, I joined a volunteer organization to work on land surveys. The area I stayed in was extremely rural. My neighbor owned the only bicycle in the village, while everyone else had to walk. I noticed he was unusually successful in his work and soon realized why. Having a bike gave him access to jobs far beyond what others could reach on foot. When I returned to the UK in 1998, I launched Pedal Power. We collect used bikes and send them to poor regions around the world. We don't give them away for free, though. Instead, we sell them at just 5% of their original price to help build local economies and fund ongoing shipments. In one of our earlier projects, the town of Rivas received an entire shipment of bikes from the UK. Today, Rivas is full of bicycles, some say even more than Amsterdam. However, we've faced financial challenges. In August 2000, for example, we had bicycles ready to go, but lacked funds to ship them. Although we managed to send that batch out, our funding issues lasted for months.
Questions 31 to 35 refer to the following conversation.
Hello, everyone. Do you use the internet? If I asked you about the most common topic for advertisements online, I'd bet weight loss ads would top the list. Dieting has become a major obsession. We've all heard of diets like the Atkins diet, the South Beach diet, or the Paleo diet, all promising weight loss and a healthier life. Today, I want to talk about one of the most well-known Western diet trends, the Paleo or caveman diet. So what exactly is the Paleo diet and where did it come from? Proponents say that we need to go back to basics, to the kind of food our ancient ancestors ate. They argue that our bodies aren't built to digest grains and legumes, and that we should be eating a diet based on lean meat, fish, nuts, and berries, but without wheat or oats that came after agriculture. But let's take a closer look. To understand the caveman diet, we can examine modern hunter-gatherer tribes. For instance, the Bushmen in Africa, despite being skilled hunters, often return empty-handed. So what do they eat? Well, they gather local plants like nuts and yams. In fact, they consume more plants than meat, and evidence suggests our ancestors likely did the same. Research shows that when these tribes are exposed to Western diets, their health deteriorates. However, this doesn't mean our digestive systems can only handle a limited range of foods. Take lactose tolerance as an example. In regions where people herd cattle, they have the enzyme to digest milk, but in places like China, where dairy farming is rare, people generally can't digest milk. So, what's wrong with the caveman diet? Well, first, it's expensive. Wild meat and nut oils aren't affordable for most people. Second, a diet rich in red meat may not be suitable for our more sedentary lifestyle. Finally, a wild meat-based diet isn't sustainable for the environment, as it's not practical to feed large populations this way.